Hey there, I'm Sandra Bizatra. I am thrilled to welcome you to Brave Spaces. This podcast is all about having courageous conversations around biblical womanhood, personal growth, marriage, and family. Everything rooted in timeless principles. My hope is that we will learn and grow together. Come along with me on this journey. What does it mean to comfort your husband from a biblical and Christian point of view? I know for me, this has been a particularly difficult thing at times because I was not taught how to be a supportive wife. I saw marriages, but I was not taught how to be a supportive wife, and it often was not modeled to me. And I was not told the importance either of being a supportive spouse. And I think being a supportive wife, it's very crucial for a thriving, resilient, and a healthy marriage. When the support is lacking, it can lead to several negative consequences emotionally, spiritually, and practically that affects both parties. It affects the relationship individually, and it also affects the well-being of the individual, in this case, your husband, who is not feeling that they are receiving support from you. It's about being there for your partner through the ups and downs of life. And I think let's take a closer look at it, how we can be supportive spouses in practical ways so that we can begin to strengthen our marriages. And before we begin, I would like first for us to discuss what are the dangers of not being a supportive wife. The first one is that it strains the relationship. It puts strain on the relationship because it comes across as lack of support. It can create emotional distance. If you've ever been in an emotional distant relationship, I don't know if you've ever been through a phase in your marriage where you are sleeping in the same bed, but it feels like you're sleeping in different countries. It might as well be like you're sleeping in different countries because of the emotional distance. And the emotional distance creates misunderstandings between the two of you. And what are the dangers of emotional distance? The dangers are, without the emotional and practical support, the relationship can become very strained. And what does that do to the relationship? It can lead to resentment and conflict, often where the frustration and resentment build up. You begin to snap at every little thing that doesn't actually matter because there's so much resentment in you. And that brings unnecessary conflict. And the lack of connection can diminish the overall quality of a marriage, which is pretty sad. It's very easy to fix. What's the other thing that lack of emotional support brings? The lack of emotional support increases stress and burdens on your husband. In its absence, the support can place undue burdens on your husband, where he feels like he has to handle all the responsibilities and the challenges alone. And the danger of this is that it can lead to increased stress for your husband and burnout for him. And it can feel overwhelming at times for him to manage it, for him to manage the task and coping with the everyday difficulties without your help, because then he feels alone, like you do not have his back. I don't know if you've ever felt like somebody doesn't have your back. You feel so alone, and there's nothing worse, I feel, to feel alone in a marriage, because it just feels like you're doing this on your own with no other support. And the other negative effect of lack of comfort in the marriage is that it erodes trust. It breaks trust in the marriage because your husband feels unsupported and neglected, which can be very disheartening. And the dangers of feeling unsupported and neglected. It leads to them being not trusting you. They lose confidence in you. They lose confidence in their relationship. They lose trust in themselves and in you as well, making it very difficult to rely on each other. It becomes difficult to trust each other, to work together as a team, because there is no trust. And the fourth thing that comes out of emotional disconnection, of lack of comfort in marriage, is emotional disconnection. Without emotional support, your husband may feel isolated or unvalued, disrespected, and unappreciated. And I know there's been times in our marriage where my husband has definitely felt some of these things. It's not because I was intentionally trying to make him feel this way, but because of my own brokenness, my own insecurities, I projected this thing on them. So the result of that ends up being him feeling isolated, unvalued, disrespected, and unappreciated. And the dangers of him feeling like that, particularly over a period of time, it can lead to feelings of loneliness, feelings of isolation and detachment, which can weaken the bond between the two of you and will affect your intimacy. And you really want to avoid that at all costs. And the other thing, the fifth thing is that you hinder personal growth. When there is no support, you hinder each other's growth, because supportive husbands and wife often encourage each other's personal and professional growth. Because if there's no support, I'm wanting to pursue something and I don't feel like I have the support of my husband, or he doesn't feel like he has my support, that really hinders it hinders growth, because I feel like I can't grow with you. I want us to grow together, but if I don't have your support, I feel like I don't want to move forward without you. Some people end up doing it, and that's why that can result over time. People say, hey, we've grown apart, we don't have anything in common, because you have not supported each other, and there's no reason, and the danger again is that without support for one or each other, you may begin to struggle to pursue their goals and develop their potential, and which will impact their personal fulfillment and growth, because they don't feel supported. And number 6 is the potential for resentment. When there is lack of support in a marriage, it can breed resentment in how your husband feels. Also the same, how the wife feels. This is not just how a wife can support their husband. This video can also be used for how husband can support the wives. A wife that does not feel supported or encouraged can begin to breed resentment. And the same for the husband, where you don't feel supported, you begin to breed resentment, which leads into feelings of consistently feeling neglected and unappreciated. And the danger of that is that resentment can lead to ongoing conflict, dissatisfaction, making it really challenging to maintain a positive and loving relationship. Number 7, what happens when there is no support in the marriage for the husband and for the wife and for each other, is that it begins to affect your entire household. It affects your children, it affects each other, because of the lack of support. And the danger of that is the children and other family members, they begin to sense and feel the tension and the instability in the marriage, which begins to affect their well-being and the overall well-being of the family environment. You want to avoid as much instability and tension in the marriage as far as it is up to both of you. You don't want your children to begin to feel insecure about mom and dad and what they're going through, and create a toxic environment for your children. We have spoken about the dangers of not being a supportive spouse. Now, can we talk about what it actually means to be a supportive spouse? This is something that I am continually learning, because you don't arrive at being a supportive spouse. People also change just in as much as I change. My husband also changes, and we need to continually become each other's student, so we constantly learn how to support each other. The first one is, what does it mean to provide emotional support? It's about providing encouragement and understanding and emotional support when your husband is facing challenges and they need reassurance, because we are not meant to do life alone. Why does it matter? Emotional support strengthens the bond between you and your husband, and it helps them feel valued, understood, and contributing to the health of the relationship. I mean, when you feel supported, you feel like you can conquer anything. It doesn't matter what is happening outside of your house. As long as I'm receiving emotional, physical, understanding support, I can conquer anything. That's the first one, emotional support. How else can you show support? Number 2, practical support. How do you practically support your husband? Or husband, how do you practically support your wife? You can assist them with this task and sharing in the responsibilities of the home, of running the home, of the children, and offering to help when the days are challenging, or even the daily challenges. If you know that your husband or your wife has so many things to do, you could ask, how can I make your day easier today? Or can I pick up the kids so that will give you more time? Just offer practical support on daily challenges. It will change your life. Why does it matter? Practical support alleviates stress. It fosters teamwork and it ensures that both partners are actively involved in maintaining the household and achieving the shared goals that you have as a family. Now, how does one begin to become a supportive wife or a supportive husband? How do you become a supportive spouse? Number 1, active listening. I've not always been good at listening. I have improved, and I will keep improving, because I often used to listen and ready to respond. But active listening is to listen with understanding. You want your spouse to feel heard and seen, and understanding brings that. When they feel understood, it makes a huge difference. Some practical ways on how to be a practical listener. Pay attention when your spouse is speaking. Not on your phone, not thinking about everything. Like, literally turn off all the tabs in your mind and pay attention when they are speaking. Show empathy and offer thoughtful responses. Like, for example, like you can say, "Oh my gosh, my love, that sounds really difficult. I cannot even begin to imagine what your day was like. What can I do to help?" Just offer empathy. Why does active listening matter? It demonstrates that you value your husband's thought and feelings, and it helps in building trust and understanding. I have seen this in my own life when I choose to actively listen, even in difficult conversations, when I choose to put him before me, before what I have to say. My husband often walks away feeling valued, his feelings validated, and it really builds trust and understanding in our marriage. Another way to be an active listener is to offer encouragement and affirmation. How do you begin to do that? You can regularly express appreciation and praise for your husband's effort. Often, it is easy to only speak about the things that are not going well. But I want you to practice praising your husband for the little things that he has done. You know what? If you focus on the 20% that he has done good, I promise you, it will increase the chances of him getting things right, the 80%. But if you focus on the 80% that he has not done, I promise you, even the 20% effort that he's putting in, he will stop, because he will feel like, what is the point of trying anyway when the little bit that I am doing is not being seen or appreciated? This encourages them in their personal and their professional endeavors, even their profession. You don't always have to have an opinion on how your husband should behave at work, on how they should go after things. Just encourage them. This will help them. Encouragement and affirmation boost your husband's confidence and morale. It reinforces their commitment and their goals to their relationship, to themselves, and to the goals that they want to do. It really, really does. And it's not always easy, but we can do it through Christ. Shared responsibility. Remember, you are a team. How to practically support each other. You are a team. I think the sooner you can realize and accept that you are a team, it will make everything so much easier. When you decide to give 100% of yourself to the relationship, to the marriage, and to the shared responsibilities, and you are doing it together, I promise you, you will succeed. You will go further together than if you are fighting each other. Instead of fighting each other, learn to manage the tasks together. Learn to make decisions together. It will help you well. Sharing responsibilities fosters a sense of partnership, and it prevents one partner from feeling overwhelmed or undervalued and overworked. Now, we have spoken from a point of view of both husband and wife, the previous point. Now, I would like to focus more on how you can offer practical support to your husband. How can you practically comfort your husband? Number one, offer practical help. How do you begin to do that? Assist with household chores. Take care of errands that he cannot get to. Offer to pick up his dry cleaning. Offer your help where you feel it will alleviate a little bit of the stress. Help him manage his diary. If he's struggling to find a way to make it work, help him find it. I know my husband often helps me when I feel overwhelmed. I'll say, okay, I need a second brain to help me find solutions. You know, the word of God, it says, two are better than one. And that's the beauty of marriage. You are more likely to get things done and to succeed when you choose to work together. Choose to be attentive to his needs. I know we have been taught that it's not our job to make them happy. It's not our jobs. We're not mothering them. But is it not something that we all want, that someone is attentive to your mood, to your burdens, to the things that you need to get through? And when my husband does that for me, it's amazing because it just eases my burden. So do that for your husband. You will never regret making his life a little bit easier. And husband, you will never regret making your wife's life a little bit easier. Create a supportive environment. I cannot stress this enough. You need to maintain a positive and nurturing home atmosphere, free of unnecessary drama, free of unnecessary stress, and free of unnecessary conflict. Am I saying that we cannot have all these? Of course we will. We are human beings. We live in a stressful world. All the more reason why you should remove unnecessary stress, drama, and conflict in your home. Learn to approach issues from a place of calm. Don't address issues when you are boiling and you feel like you're going to explode. Take a moment to sort out your emotions before you create unnecessary stress. A supportive environment helps your husband feel secure and relaxed, which is essential for his emotional well-being. You can do that. Pray together. It's so important when you pray together. Where two or more are gathered, there I will be. And when you are together in unity, you can conquer anything. Like, make it a habit to seek guidance and strength from God together, because praying together deepens your spiritual connection and invites God's presence into your marriage. It reinforcing partnership. How beautiful is that? That when you come together toward God, it reinforces your partnership. It reinforces the emotional connection. It reinforces the physical connection. It strengthens your emotional bonds. Make quality time together. Spend intentional time together in activities that you both enjoy and creating memories. I think since having children, we've had to fight harder to enjoy time together. For us, we do a weekly date morning on Friday mornings. We know that our children were at school, everything else is already set up. So every Friday morning, occasionally we'll go out in the evenings, but every Friday morning is our day to go spend time intentionally together. Quality time fosters intimacy and it strengthens the emotional connection between you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have found this video inspiring and helpful. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Remember, every step you take towards growth and resilience is a step towards a brighter future. Keep shining, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay blessed and take care.